check it out. Come and check us out as we think it's a sports show. Come see what we about. Check it out. Come and check us out as we think it's a sports show. Come see what we about. Hey, Mike, Rad, Mills, Preach. Come check us out so you can see how everybody think. Mike, Rad, Mills, Preach. The show's about to start, so everybody take a seat.
Europe, and we're back. Thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode. We think it's a sports show. I'm your host, Mike D, and as always, we got a great show for you today. Packed show. So I'm hopping right into it. So let me introduce the guys. First up, we got my big cuz. Who get them? Mills get them. Next up, we got my A1 since day 2, Rad, and my point guard, Preach. So I'm gonna change it up this week, fellas. Cause it's been a while since we checked in on our health. You know, we believe in holistic health here. We think it's a sports show, mental, physical, social, spiritual, everything, financial. But every week, Mills come in with, I was hiking this week with the wife, invited some friends. So Mills is getting out and getting it. I seen Mills run around the park 2 days ago. So Rad and Sam, Preach. I know you said you put up some shots, but that don't take a lot. So what are you doing to stay active during this pandemic? Because we still in a pandemic. What are we doing?
Mike, I'm not doing anything. It's unfortunate.
Come on, Preach. What you mean?
It's very unfortunate. I am not doing anything. But I am creating a plan so I can, get back in the groove of things. I've heard it from a few people, reliable sources, that my weight is going up, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is something that I am cognizant of and I'm watching. So I'm devising a plan as we speak, so I can address these concerns of the people.
I'm the only one that found reliable sources is telling me. Who is these? Your mom? Like, who is telling you? Who are these sources that's telling you your weight is going up?
Well, it's a host of people, but the people are reliable because anybody can tell you anything. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can tell you anything, but I've heard from some reliable sources that I have gone up in weight, and I'm going to address those things.
All right, 2Kid Rad, what you doing?
Exactly that. I'm wrestling with the 2 kids. That's all I got. Far as physically, yeah, I'm getting my steps in. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I'm getting my 10,000 steps in a day. I guess I'm intermediately fasting.
Okay. You do 16-8.
I know I don't eat till 12 and stop eating that.
Well, yeah.
So
Okay.
10 hours.
Well,
10 hours.
10 hours.
Yeah.
All right. That's not bad. That's something. All right, Millie, save us, Mills. What did you do this weekend? You did anything active,
10.
bro?
Active. I didn't go hiking this week, unfortunately. We had something planned, but something happened that prevented us. So we did reschedule that. But I did go on a bike ride. I did substitute it with a bike ride. Me and a couple bros went on I think it was 11-mile bike ride late night. I do not recommend going on a bike ride at night by the water. The mosquitoes are ridiculous. If you are, make sure you got a hoodie on. You might want to put a mask on. The mask that they be wearing for the COVID joint, the little plastic joint. You might want to wear that too, because the mosquitoes are nuts, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. But that was my exercise for the weekend. But I'm being active now, man. I just start, running stairs, hitting Delaware. Delaware's a park in Buffalo. I'm getting some stair workouts, some pull-ups, jailhouse workouts, man. Can't get to the gym. Jailhouse workouts is what it is.
In the yard. All right. I get up 6:30, 7 o'clock every day, run for about 15, walk for 15. Me and Angie been doing that for like 2 months. So that's been saving me. But it is August and we're losing some good weather. It's like 60 here all week. So I do want to challenge y'all to something. What? I don't know yet. We could talk about it offline and maybe come back next week. We can have like a, we think it's a sports show challenge that we are partaking to get us up and get us moving. And so something like the fans could follow us, or the listeners. I don't want to call y'all fans, that the listeners. Maybe they can even join in too. So y'all cool
add
with
us on the
that?
Apple Watch,
Yeah,
man. We all got Apple Watches. We can compare workouts on the Apple Watch, man.
All right, I'm with that. All right, so like I said, packed show. So I do want to get into some culture talk, but I do want to take a minute here and do two things. One, we still need justice for Breonna Taylor. We have not forgot. So please, everybody, keep out there fighting till we get it. And then two, I want to take time, maybe like just a minute here, and allow everyone to subscribe to subscribe to us on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, I'm sorry, and Spotify.
Subscribe.
One benefit is that we release the episodes there first, so you get them early. You get them maybe like Wednesday around maybe 1 o'clock or so. We release it. You get them there early, and help us out. You get the latest content always. Also, we post daily on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If you follow us on Facebook, you know that. YouTube. So we're going to drop those links as well in the comment section. Please go ahead. Come back after you leave. Come back. Subscribe to those. Download the episodes. Come back. Because we got a great show for you today. I promise. Great show. But we do need you guys to go and subscribe to our Apple Podcast and Spotify. And we really, really do appreciate it.
For sure.
So I'm gonna maybe give everybody maybe about 10 more seconds. Everybody done left. They want to go back. They're ready for the show. I know you're on the way back. And I swear, if the numbers don't come back, I'm gonna be tight. All right. So let's get into some culture talk. If you are new to the show, we do have a lot of new listeners, and we thank you for joining us. If you're new to the show here, we usually start with culture first. And we had a culture roundtable when I just go around and ask the fellas, what have they, what caught their eye from the weekend? And then we discuss it. So Big Cuz, I'm coming to you first. Melly, what caught your eye this weekend? What from the culture do you want to talk about?
Short and sweet, you know me. Black is King with Beyonce. It caught my eye mainly because it's one of an iconic person, somebody a lot of people look out to, you know what I mean? And she threw out a piece of, honestly, when I first heard of it, I first watched the first 5-10 minutes, I was very uninterested in the whole thing, to be honest with you. And then I actually sat down, actually watched it, and it's actually a beautiful piece of art. And beautiful piece of art. She did a well job. I mean, she really
nervous for a second, Mills.
She do deserve a round of applause, man. I mean, I do recommend that each and every one of you, check it out. It's about 1 hour and 20 minutes. It just talks about. I mean, it really shows how beautiful the Black American race is. About our heritage, where we came from, where we are right now. Where we're going in the future. A lot of beautiful people. Beautiful scenes. The music is great. The dancing is great. It's just an overall great experience. And I do recommend, that each and every one of you just take the time out and just watch it. I know a lot of females and males that like Beyonce, they're going to watch it anyway. And most of them are going to enjoy it just because she is who she is. But I really want you guys to sit down and actually analyze the film. And you will be blessed.
All right. Anybody want to speak on that?
Right.
I thought the show. I agree with Mills. I thought the visual album was dope. Just showing the wealth of wherever she was at. I don't think she was in America. I'm assuming Africa or
South Africa,
and it was really dope. The storyline of how the album, the movie went with the Lion King. The storyline went with Lion King, which I think personally, Lion King is the best movie of all time for me. It's my number one. I always say that. I think you just a lot of lessons in Lion King, a lot of things that you can pull from it, and she used that and she made her own story, and I think it was dope.
Preach.
Yeah,
I don't like your body language, Reno Rat. You and I, we agreed on this about 10 years ago.
Lion King, the best movie of all time, man.
We was on the way to go see Toy Story 3, and we was talking about they need to make another Lion King because that's the best movie ever. But Toy Story 3 ended up being the best movie in 2010. But Preach, what do you think about what Rad just said?
Social was a movie in 2010, and also Lion King is. I don't even know if that should be included in a top movie of all time. But that's neither here nor there.
You lost your mind, bro. That's blasphemous.
It's not blasphemous. It's just honest. As it relates to Black is King,
Don't do it, Preach.
Let me start with love. I appreciate Beyonce. I think she is probably the greatest entertainer of all time. Whenever she does any project, she's very thoughtful. She's very measured, and she does it to the best of her ability. And don't get me wrong, hear me when I say this, I appreciate this project.
I don't want to cut you off, but please don't say the word "but." If you're gonna say "but," just stop talking and we gonna keep moving on. Don't say the word "but," bro.
Exactly.
I won't say "but," but I will say "however."
However, I knew it was coming.
However, yeah, like I'm not as captured by it as everybody else. I'm gonna be honest, and this is why. I'll say this. I tell people this all the time. As far as Black excellence, I love the visuals, but as far as like, Black excellence in certain things that is promoted in music, sometimes it's just a preference for me. I don't like to hear it from music or in that vein. I like to read it and I like to hear it from a different source. And that's just a preference thing. So when I see things like that, it doesn't necessarily captivate me. I am awed by, the presentation. I can appreciate that. But for me, it's just like, I'm cool. I don't need all that from you. I really want you to sing.
Let me push back real quick because you are a big J. Cole fan, and his rap is about Black excellence. Kendrick is about Black excellence.
That's J. Cole of late. Like, I fell in love with J. Cole in my formative years when I first got to college because J. Cole spoke from that experience. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I still appreciate him, but that's why I'm not like I still love his music, but I'm not like, gung ho about everything that he's putting out now. And this is no disrespect this is why I'm not a huge fan of Tupac. Granted, I love his music.
Oh, the show took a turn now.
Listen, I'm just being honest. I want to be honest. I love I appreciate him, but I don't need to hear those messages from you. There are some people who do need to hear it. I understand that. But for me, I'm cool.
Yeah, I guess you read a lot, Preach. I will give you that, but that's all I'm giving you, to be honest. But I do appreciate.
That's why I don't like Tupac. Is nuts.
No, not so much.
I get it, but
it's like I don't. That's why I understand what you're saying. I don't respect it and I don't agree with it, but I do understand where it's coming from. Okay. But it's something you said, Preach, that I do want to touch on. And I don't want to talk about Black is King. Mills hit the nail on the hammer, or what? Mills, what is it? You hit the hammer with the nail? I don't know. That's your thing. But I don't want to talk about Black is King. I want to talk about Beyonce. Because I remember the days of comparing her with it was like her and Rihanna, the Beehive and the Navy. And Rihanna, she's doing her makeup thing, Fenty. So, there's nothing disrespect to her or anything like that. No, she went away on her own. But when we talk about Beyonce, it should never be a Beyonce or Summer Walker conversation. Like, who is the best woman artist?
Somebody having that conversation.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm just saying, just making sure that it's not that. No. But no one should also be saying Beyonce or Drake either. I think Beyonce is the best musical person on earth right now. I think what she is doing is crazy, and I feel like she should be compared to like the Lin Manuel Miranda's, where like Mel said, she create art. It's just not music. The way she danced, the visuals between Homecoming, Black is King, Lemonade, that's different. That's different than what anybody else in music is doing. So when we talk about Beyonce, it should be talk about compare that to Hamilton, comparing it to like the top fashion designer. Maybe if you want to say her and Yeezy, the fashion brand, and what he doing with fashion, not music. What he doing with fashion. Beyonce should be in those conversations. It should never be another musical conversation with anybody that's alive. If you want to have the Beyonce or Michael Jackson, Beyonce or Prince conversation, let's have it. But I'm not having anything else besides that.
No, I agree with you, Mike. I think Beyonce is definitely the best entertainer of our lifetime, and I don't think it's close because it embodies more than just music, as you say, and she just on another level, far as just that icon that she's just bigger than whatever she's doing, and I definitely agree with it. Just watching her growth, just from Destiny's Child to Bootylicious, is it Bootylicious or whatever, now to see her to where she's at now. And you got to give a lot of credit to Jay too. Jay was in that joint too, and that joint was dope. So I definitely agree. They are Black excellence at its finest. And it's just when you watch it, it's like, yeah, it just aspire. You want to aspire to I don't know if you aspire to go to places like that, to see things like that, to experience things like that, that they show. So I think definitely it was beautiful.
I think she sold, and she dedicated to her son. She definitely gave some love to Black men, especially nowadays. It's a little rare that you see that, unless it's coming from another Black male. So I definitely appreciated that. I don't know, man. Beyonce, dog. She is just seeing on a different level. Like when you hear celebrities talk about they didn't know what to say when they seen Beyonce. That's how she is the famous person.
No, that's a fact.
So she's the person that Will Smith see and like be like, oh my God, Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? Like she's that big. Yeah. So I just know shout out to Queen Bee, shout out to the Beehive, everything, man. Just great, man. Just great.
Honored to be live and watching it.
We should plan a trip to Africa, man.
I do want to go to Ghana. Oh, that's another thing I want to say, Mills, is and I was talking to Tony about this a couple days ago. The whole Black, drug dealer, or the whole project scene, the whole Black woman throwing babies in the garbage, like all those are so tired. So those so tired. Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry for saying. Sam came in at the wrong time and like, what? That's not funny.
But
I didn't even laugh.
No, it was perfect. Yeah. I'm so tired of it. It's so old. The slave, the help, like those old narratives, like seeing Beyonce in Africa with gold and people like fashion show, like fabric I never even seen before. I don't know what they were wearing. Yeah, and like that alone, seeing Black people like that, I mean, it does something to you, man. It does something for you. It shows you that it's possible. All right. Sure. So, that was great. That was good for a segment. I'm fired up. All right. Rad, I know you got something for me. What you got? What you see from the weekend?
Oh, man. So over the weekend, this talk comes up periodically from time to time where people ask, who comes first in a man's life, his mother, his wife, or his children. And I'm not the biggest fan of this question, honestly. But so I guess I'm gonna attack it from a different way. Maybe it's deeper. It's definitely not surface as the discussion has been. Because typically I think that this question comes from, it's a Black community question. And I think it's specific. It's become specific to us because, how do I say it? It becomes specific to us because mothers, like if you, as a Black man, right now in America, if your mother is single or if your mother doesn't have a husband in the household, that this would even be a discussion for I would think, because I never even thought of this. I mean, we are privileged. We are blessed. We all grew up in two parent households. So to think that I would put my mom first as if my dad is not there, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, so I think the question comes from a lot of people whose mother, a lot of guys whose mother potentially doesn't have that significant other, or potentially, not letting go of the son because of some reason. I don't know, but I think that's where the root of the question come from, and I think that's the root. That's the problem. So now we can talk about it still, but I think that's we could talk about the surfaceness of it. I think that comes underneath all of that. That's where it comes from.
Like on some KD crying, like, you're the real MVP, mom. Like how him and his mom relationship is so tight because it was just them, him, his brother, and her. Like that's all they had.
In the Black community,
I respect that. I never thought about that, Rat.
Yeah.
I preach. You was doing some body language. What you got?
Well, I want to say, just to push back, I don't think it is not entirely just about not having a father in the household why males cling to their mothers. Because I mean, people in two-parent households, the male can cling to their mother. It's just called a mama's boy. I mean, that's just kind of like the colloquial term that we use for it. So I'm saying is it is possible to have two parents in the house and still that person cling to its mother, and that affects his relationship with his, significant other.
No, I'm not saying that per se, but what I'm saying is that question, you don't hear that question outside of our community. I don't know if that question is kind of unique to us because of the disparity of a single, in the Black community is a big deal. The single mother is a big deal. It's a big thing. It's a high number. I don't want to say the wrong number. It's a high, very high, alarming number. So I think, that question comes from a big portion of the question comes from that. I think, I could be wrong, but I think that's what I think.
All right.
So what is your answer?
My answer is when you wake up in the morning, who you see first is your wife. So your wife comes first. Well, I have a nuanced question. I have a nuanced answer that I can give too. Who comes first in your life should be you. I think that is a omission is not in the question, but you should come first. You gotta wake up and make sure you're capable of giving out energy to other people, because if you're not whole, then you're gonna give insufficient love, insufficient energy to other people. So you got to make sure you self-development is key. You got to self-develop, and then your partner, if you and your partner is both self-developing and becoming whole, and then y'all come together and make something beautiful, and then it comes down to your kids. So that's how I see it. That's how I go about it. I come first in my life. I know that sounds selfish, but I think you got to
wild.
No, I think you really got to pour into you first, and then or God, if you want to say God, but on some level, I'm not gonna go into that.
Yo, Randy brought like 5 other people into the question.
It's you. My answer is you come first,
but
then it's your wife.
God, Santa, yourself.
Me.
Like, Red, what are you talking about? How many people you gonna bring to the
first.
question? You come
I
first.
come first.
All right.
I was gonna come with something different, but it's just not the right place for that. You come first, but who come after that is your wife. And answer the question, your wife comes first.
All right. Go ahead, preach. Who do you think?
I don't think you come first. I let me just say that. I think that's a rad thing. One of rad isms, so to speak. I understand the premise. I understand the premise of it, right? Because on an airplane, they tell you, one of the things that they tell you is, before you can help somebody else, obviously make sure you can breathe first. So I get that. I get that. Obviously, if you're dead, you can't help anybody, obviously. But if you're in a committed relationship, if you're married, then for me, your wife comes first. But obviously, there's an understanding that children cannot take care of themselves, right? So they have to be taken care of. And I believe 2 adults can come to that agreement, right? that obviously we have to take care of our children. So certain things we have to sacrifice in order to, help them. And as far as your mother is concerned, now I'll say this, because I've been accused, one way or the other, by maybe a person that my mother has a strong personality. So that can be overwhelming, but at the same time, I understand that the wife comes first. But that's a and I don't want to be disrespectful to any woman out there. It is, but I want to say, women got to be mindful that you got to be strong yourself. And I don't want to go that way because we're not going in that direction. But I just want to put that out there, that women have to be strong themselves in order to understand a relationship between, a son and a mother. I can't help that if you have a bad relationship with your mother. I'm sorry that I wasn't there for that. You get what I'm saying, y'all?
So you come first.
Who, me?
No, whoever in the relationship, you, the person comes first.
No, my wife comes first.
Okay.
But your wife needs to have understanding, like,
Whoa. For me, the Lord comes first, and my wife understands that, right? Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we work, we work on from there. It's a trickle down.
Trickle down economics. Go ahead, Millie. Mills, you are married, so you better be very careful. I think the wife in the background too. So you better be very careful on how you answer this one, bro. Go ahead.
Like you stated, I am the only married one for the moment. The question comes up, like Raz said, periodically. I think this weekend it came up a lot on social media. And one of the things, if you read through the comments and stuff like that, you have that question that some people ask is, give me an example of what do you mean? Give me a situation where you would have to make that choice between a mother, a wife and a child. And I think a lot of people don't look at it on the aspect of decision making, but they think of it as if my mother, my wife, and my child all three of them were on their deathbed, who would I save? I think that's how most people look at it.
No, I don't. No, that's different. My answer we changed then. My answer changing.
For real. A lot of people look
my wife,
at
mom, and son was drowning. Who you saving?
A lot of people think of it like that. A lot
thinks of it like that.
I don't think that's crazy.
That's dark. I mean, that is the only way to really, really like say who really come first, though.
Well, obviously.
Right? But that's dark. I know. I don't want to think like that.
Find a way to save all of them.
Go ahead, Mills.
But that was just throwing something out there. But just to get the podcast moving in the direction we need to be going in, to give you my answer is like Sam said, I do disagree with Rad. My wife definitely comes first. I made a commitment to my wife. She is my other half, my better half. So the decisions we make, is between me and her. But check this though. I would never put my mom and my wife, like Sam said, I wouldn't have them in a situation where I should have to make that decision, unless it's something that's very, very, extreme. My wife will ultimately come first. Now, when children are involved, this is just my opinion, is communication is key, as we all know, in relationships. And I believe you should sit down with your wife or your better half and have that conversation so you can come to an agreement. If something came down to, a specific a choice that needed to be made, what choice would we make together? If that makes sense.
Man, I never heard so much hemming and hawing and couching about the answer I've ever heard in my life. Y'all, all these caveats about, well, we're going to make sure that the kids can't be taken care of, and we're going to have talks and discussions.
I didn't say that.
And the question is, who comes first? You said your wife, right?
Correct.
All right. The whole other nonsense.
No. It matters. It matters. Because when you have kids, some people put their kids before themselves. Totally.
I know. Yeah.
Before their wife, before their husband. But I feel when you get to that point, you should talk with your wife or your husband and y'all have that conversation. That's just my opinion.
I know, but I hear you, bro. But question is, who come first? You said wife. Now it's my turn. So I'm gonna call my auntie Georgia right after this though, because it's a perfect time for me to get in there. Because Caesar heard Mills say that she comes second. I'm putting you first, auntie. Don't you worry about it. So all right, but auntie Georgia, my mom, fans of the show, and like Raz said, I'm not married. I don't have any kids. Thankfully, I do have my mother still, and she's a fan of the show. I'm sure she's watching. Something, Mom.
Hey, Mama D.
And y'all know my mom, Dukes. She's strong in the faith, very, very religious. And in the Bible, or so she has said. I have never confirmed this. Maybe Preach and Mills, y'all can let me know. But in the Bible, she said that in this young man's life, the mother comes first, and then once he gets married, the wife comes first. Then when he has kids, the children come first. And I'm surprised that he said that. But I 100% agree, Rad. I 100% agree. My damn self is coming first. I agree with you, Rad, 100%. Because for the first time in my life, in 28 years, almost in 11 days, I have not been putting myself first at all. Until maybe about 2 months ago when this whole pandemic happened. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start a podcast. You know what? I'm going to do this. And ever since I started doing what I wanted to do, but what makes me happy, I've been a better boyfriend. I've been a better son. Me and my mom, our conversations have been so great.
For one, that's not an option.
Well, it is an option. My conversation with my mom has been so great lately that because like I'm happy. I am happy because I am doing what I want. I'm pursuing all my dreams between this work. My boss mentioned a promotion. Last month when we talked, reffing is going good. Like I am doing what makes me happy, and I truly believe that miserable people make people miserable. So, like Raz said, if you aren't whole, I can't love you if I don't love myself. So I'm putting myself first, and then after that, I would say it don't matter. I come first. It don't matter who's second. I don't care who got next. I don't care who got next.
You just pressed
you have to answer, bro.
I did. All right. If I got to answer, I would say children. Because as parents, your job is to make sure you don't raise sucky kids. You don't want your kids to be people that you hate. You want your kids to be people that can be functional people in society. So you have to make sure you do everything for them to make sure that they are good. So I think kids do go first.
On some level, Mike, I understand that because I'm having a discussion with my dad, and he said something that resonated with me a lot. He said if he had to, hindsight's 20/20, obviously, but he had to do it over again. He said don't have kids until you really to like give your all attention to them. He said don't grow up with your kids. And when he said that, I was like, oh, you know what I mean? I was like, and it hit me. I was like, oh, you know what I mean? He said, do whatever you want to do in life. Put all your energy into yourself, and then when you're ready to surrender that effort, surrender to that attention, then have kids. And I was like, and I heard it, and I understood exactly what he's saying, because I have 2 children. You find yourself, having to pick between certain things, and it's like, and it's not like a. It's not, and you don't want to feel selfish if you pick yourself sometimes. You know what I mean? But if you're growing up with your kids, you're gonna have to sometimes. So I totally agree on that front, Mike.
All right, Mills.
One question. I know y'all said talk about the children and stuff. Is there an age limit cut off with that choice you guys make with children coming first? Is there an age limit cut off?
No, I don't think. Oh, let Mike answer, because I'm not totally sure about how to put children first in that hierarchy. Or
for me, I would say once they graduate college and or move out. In the Black community, I think we kick our kids out way too early. If somebody turns 18, that don't mean it takes time to get out. But once they graduate college, once they move, I think that's when you and the wife reconnect and get back to what y'all were doing, prior to having the kids or whatever. But I think once they move, not high school, because that's 18, man, still so young in college. I needed my parents in college. Luckily, I stayed home until I graduated, and I moved out the state. But once they graduate and they could go on their own, that's when, like, all right, that's it.
As far as I think every situation is different. I think we can't kind of paint a broad brush for everybody.
I agree.
Because kids are different, right? I mean, parents, like the living situation, whether it's 2-parent home, 1-parent, like, so it's not, it's different strokes for different folks. You know what I'm saying? So I can't, it's hard to speak on it, but I guess, when we talk about it personally, and then even that, like again, it's difficult, right? Like what I say is, like, children cannot do for themselves, so you have to do for them. Like, so in that regard, you do have to be selfless, right? You can't, there are certain things that they literally cannot do for themselves. So yeah, I mean, you have to put them first, like, especially when they're babies. When you wake up in the morning, like, the first thing that's on your mind is your child. It's not yourself. I mean, like, or it's a situational thing. That's what I'll say. Like, you have to be put in those situations to see what you will do. And generally, like, if you are a good parent, then obviously you're going to take care of your child in every way possible.
No, if you're a good person, you're going to take care of your child, Sam. That's where I think I'm the disconnect here. Like, if you pour on yourself and you doing the best for yourself, it's going to extend to your children, I think. So, but that we can keep it going.
But I guess my disconnect is I don't know why we separate the two. Because some people get fulfillment in that, right? Like that, like some people get fulfillment for doing stuff for other people. Like, that actually makes them happy. And I think that we like, you seem to think, or you and Mike, if I'm interpreting this right, like, if I do for myself, everything else is going to work out for me. For me, it's like I do get fulfillment in helping other people, and maybe that may be a calling. Maybe that's just how I grew up. There's no disrespect to y'all two, but
you need to store up energy somewhere to do that. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you got to have a base, a foundation to give, because if you constantly giving and you're not take who you getting from. You know what I mean? What you doing? You know what I'm saying? You constantly giving, energy. You gotta get it for yourself too. You understand? You get what I'm saying when I say that?
I do understand. I understand in the sense of, right, like, you can't be, wore out, because obviously when like burnout is real, right? Like, I do understand that. But what I'm saying is that I know some people who get energy from helping other people. Like, that drives them. Like, that kind of that motivates them.
Well, but that's almost in the same though. Like, if you are a teacher and you get pleasure by teaching students, that's almost the same thing, right? You are doing something that you love. We and Rad are talking in a scenario where we aren't just at home being stay-at-home dads. We actually have dreams and passions. And I think if you repress those, I think it's some people can't learn to resent their kids. I didn't pursue this because of you, because I had kids too early.
Last point, definitely. I read a book called Yeah Yes by Shonda Rhimes, and she talks about her mom. And she said in our community that it's a whole lot of moms that sacrifice. All you hear is sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. But the thing she learned from her mom is how to become what you want to be, how to figure it out, how to not sacrifice her dreams for me, no, how to accomplish her dream in spite. You know what I mean? Like, my mom is a role model. Now I work hard and I do everything because my mom was a role model. She didn't sacrifice. She just showed me how to be what I want to be. You know what I'm saying? So instead of sacrificing all the time for kids, because you had kids too early, figuring out how to do both. You know what I mean? Or something like that. So you can keep going, Mike.
Yeah, I respect that. I had a book reference to Rab, but I'm glad you came in there with the Shonda Rhimes. So appreciate that. All right, preach. Great conversation, fellas. Mom, hopefully you still love me after. All right, preach. What did you see from the
definitely love
weekend? I know.
Well, it's a tale of two halves, really, and I'm going to talk about Jonathan Isaac. I'll start on the onset in saying prayers to Jonathan Isaac. I hope you get or have a speedy recovery. You never want to see this happen to a young player. It is very unfortunate. But Twitter was up in a frenzy. It was all over the the media blotter, if you will. Jonathan Isaac, he decided to sort of take a stand. He took a stand, right? And I guess his own form of protest, in a sense, if I can use that. He did not necessarily participate in the quote unquote social justice piece, with his players or his teammates in the NBA. He did not put a specific social justice theme or a name on the back of his jersey, nor did he take a knee, during the national anthem. And his response to all of that, and he was asked why. I believe he had an interview with Taylor Rooks of Bleacher Report, and basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, the reason why he did it was religious reasons, right? He believes that we all are jacked up people, and he believes, and I quote, let me just read this. I think when you look around, racism isn't the only thing that plagues our society, that plagues our nation, that plagues our world. And I think coming together on that message that we want to get past not only racism, but everything that plagues, us as a society, I feel like the answer to that is the gospel, right? Like his whole point of it is, in the words of Kanye West, Jesus is king. And Jesus is all about love, and he's not going to judge, people, and, he's not going to participate in this thing. So my question is, how do y'all guys feel about it, right? How do you feel about it?
Man, Mills, you want to go first?
I guess I can, because I'm gonna be the short and sweet one out of the group. But one thing that Jonathan did say that I did appreciate is that before he made his decision to do what he did, which was stand and didn't wear the Black Lives Matter shirt and stuff like that, he had a conversation with his peers. And I really did appreciate that. He talked to his fellow teammates, his owners, his coaches, and he let them know how he felt.
Hold on, Mills.
About the situation.
It's when you say his owners, that didn't feel right to me, man. The owners, not his owners, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That didn't feel right to
me. He had a conversation with the organization there, and he let them know how he felt, and they supported him 100%. And I just appreciated that he didn't, go about things the wrong way. I mean, we are entitled to our own opinions. We all can believe how we want to believe. And one thing that he did say is, just because I didn't take a knee, just because I didn't wear that shirt, doesn't mean I don't agree with everything that's going on in society. So just words of, encouragement to others that, don't agree with some things that people do and you may be looked at differently. Just stand firm on what you believe, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. It's all of the opinion of the person looking in. And I do appreciate him just standing up for what he believes in personally.
I can go ride. So I'm wearing a shirt today that said, I'm rooting for everybody black. It's a Ray. So like Preet said, I am rooting for him to make a speedy recovery. I hate to see it. Anybody get hurt.
Sorry to cut you off. One more thing. I'm sorry. For all of you,
this better be important.
No. Y'all both brought up the speedy recovery, and it kind of aggravates me and kind of pisses me off a little bit, because a lot of people said that he deserved that because he didn't take a knee. And for those of you who out there that said stuff like that, that is very disrespectful, and it's a bad way to look at the situation. I'm sorry.
No, yeah. The person that said since he didn't take a knee, Since he didn't want to take a knee, the ancestors took one from him. Y'all going to hell. I just want y'all to know y'all going to hell.
That, to be
I
honest,
didn't see that.
if this happened,
wild.
if this happened back then when we had our podcast in the past, that might be the person I'll get a hands to. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. You definitely deserve the hands.
No, all right, Mills. I'm glad you did throw that in there. So yeah, and stop me anytime you got something important to say. But like I was saying, I am rooting for him and whatnot. But I want to say about maybe 3-4 podcasts ago when George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, when everything was happening before all the protests, we had a show, and I asked you guys, should Black athletes be obligated to speak out or do something? And we all said no. We said no. Black people aren't a monolith, so we can't expect everybody to do what we want them to do. But I know I specifically said any athlete that I financially support, I want them to be in lockstep with that. So with that said, I'm not buying any John Isaac shoes. If you ever get some, I'm not going to buy his. I'm not going to buy his jersey. His jersey went up. I think number 2 now after LeBron, because a lot of people, people that are the anti-knee kneeling went out and bought his jersey. So those people said, I'm going to support him. I'm choosing not to, because I want my athletes to be willing to go out there and take that knee and wear the shirt. The names on the back of the thing, that's a different story. That's kind of corny to me, and I really hope that they change it, because I do not want to see that for another 2-3 months. But to go out there and to say Black Lives Matter and to deal with the repercussions that come. I understand he didn't want to. That's fine. I have no beef with him. And he's still Black. He's not an Uncle Tom. He's not a coon. Like, we have to stop that. But he's not somebody that I'm going to support. It's not going to be a picture of him up on my wall in 20 years. So that's how I feel about it. All right, go ahead, Rad.
For me, I'm okay with what he did. In some way, what he did was more difficult to take a knee, because right now
100%.
you're not, is no repercussion of you taking a knee right now or putting a Black Lives Matter. Anybody in the world can do it. You're gonna get a pat on your back. It's no, right? So because if he truly anybody who truly believes to go against the grain like that, to do something when it's not safe, a la Colin Kaepernick, right? I think I'm not gonna say it's in the same vein, but it's similar. It have similarities because it's unpopular. It took some courage. He consulted people and he took whatever his stand or whatever, and it's based on something that's level-headedness. It's not saying I'm against the move. I don't like how the movement move. I don't like, because a lot of that is coming out. A lot of people don't like the Black Lives Matter movement because of whatever is on the website or all this stuff. So it wasn't because of that. It's because religious beliefs, and it was because something level-headed it, and I can understand that. Would I have done it? Probably not. But it's not about me. It's about, everybody's personal journey. And, I'm happy we live in a country where that's possible, right? Because if we wanted that for Colin Kaepernick, I want that for him. And it doesn't matter my views on things. I'm just happy that we all can do different things and have different ways, have different avenues to express ourselves. So I'm happy on that front. I'm happy that he's articulate enough to express himself in his fashion. So on that front, I'm happy with how it played out. You know what I mean? I'm happy how it played out. That's not my particular stand, but everybody different, man. So
say, Rad, you said you probably wouldn't have done it. Rad, you have a trap hat on. You got a Bob Marley shirt. You wear HBCU stuff like almost every show. You better take a knee. What are you talking about?
No, I probably wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean?
I know.
Sorry for the wrong word.
Yeah, you wouldn't have done that. Go ahead, preach.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Let me say this. I sympathize with Jonathan Isaac. Like Brad said, it took a lot of courage to do this. And I want to say that nothing he said to me, I don't disagree with anything he said as far as his content, right? But I'll just say, if I, walked into Jonathan Isaac, I would tell him that I believe his response to all this was emotional, and it necessarily wasn't educated. And what I mean by that is, you can be a Christian and still hold people accountable, right? That you can love people and still protest. Like you can do those two things at the same time. And I think that if I ran into Jonathan Isaac, I would tell him, and I don't want necessarily get too like spiritual and deep, but the reality is that yes, Jesus's whole ministry was built on love, but also he was about social justice, right? That his whole life and ministry speaks about him, going to people who are less fortunate and people who are marginalized, and him helping them specifically, right? So I mean, like in that regard, like you kneeling is not taking away from anything spiritual, right? It is not taking away from your religion. It's not taking away from your Jesus or anything like that. And I think if he was educated, I think he would have understood that the stance he took, really, to be honest, and what Mike kind of said it, the reason why his jersey sales went up is because I would say evangelicals of a different, skin tone, they bought his jerseys because that's how they think, right? They kind of suppress this idea of Black Lives Matter and try to throw Jesus on top of it, which you cannot do, in my opinion. So, I mean, if I do sympathize with Jonathan Isaac, I appreciate his courage in doing that, but I would just tell him, brother, you can love people, but also you can protest at the same time, right? Like you still have to hold people accountable for their actions, and what they are doing is wrong to us. So you can protest that, because one of the biggest figures in civil rights, he was a Baptist preacher. His name was Martin Luther King. He protested, and he still loved people at the same time.
Yeah, preach it. That was the issue I had with what he said. Like I do agree. Like, no, a sin is a sin, right? We tried to put sins like, oh, this sin is worse. All sins are sins, right? But when we talk about evil, because he said we all have sins, we all are evil. But when if people agree, like something like when Nick Cannon was saying, that if some people are more evil, or somebody is more evil than another person, if you're willing to go further than I am, I'm always going to be in trouble because I'm not willing to go as far as you. So with him saying like we all have faults, we all have evils, it's pretty much saying like if you stole a pack of non-laters, it's the same as committing murder, and it's not. It's levels to it. So to say like, hey, we all have faults, like that's the quote. I think Rad, he was wearing a shirt, I think a couple of shows ago, and I think on the back it said like, when you are neutral and like during injustice, you are picking the side of the oppressor, and you are going against the oppressed. Because if people don't stand up and have a voice, the oppressed will always be the oppressed, and the oppressor will always be the oppressor, because no one is willing to get in there and shake it up. So with him having that stance, like nothing will ever change.
Yes, and let me say this: I understand his idea of we all have faults. True, but that doesn't mean that you just allow people to continue to do faults. Like that's why I think it was emotional and not educated. Because even in your spirituality, like just because somebody's doing something wrong, that don't mean you just keep allowing them to do something wrong. You tell them to do it right. That's why I don't understand that. I mean, and that's why I would tell Jonathan Isaac to and this is no disrespect to him, to just read the whole Bible, right? Like if you're going to really subscribe to it, then read the whole Bible, and then you'll see it. It's right there for you. It's right there for you. But I think we can move on, Mike. That's all.
No, I agree. All right.
Good job, fellas.
That was y'all brought some heat today. I appreciated that Jonathan Isaac joint preach. That was nice. All right, let's get into some NBA. Last show, we had games. I think starting Thursday. We previewed them. We talked about them. A weekend went by in the bubble. Just throw it out there. Just broad question: who had the best weekend? Mills, I'm going to you.
When you say best weekend, I mean we can go teams, we can go players. But
Well,
one player that really stood out to me that had an awesome weekend. I think he averaged about 40, 42 a game. They won all 3 games. They were 3-0. That was TJ Warren, man. He had a great weekend.
Yeah, he been balling.
Yeah, facts.
Now, how about you, Rat?
Me personally, I'm gonna tip my cap to Kyle Lowry. I think he had a good game against the Lakers. And in his press conference after the game, how he said how they both kneeled through 2 national anthems. It was over 4+ minutes, and his knee was getting hurt. He had to switch knees, and to imagine that a cop was on George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, I believe what it was. So I think his whole weekend is that message he brought in his play. And Toronto Raptors, team. I think Kyle Lowry had a really good weekend.
How about you, Preach? And Rat, I didn't hear that by Lowry, so I'm glad you said that.
Oh yeah.
But
It was dope.
I think
Right,
this is tough for me, as it really is. But I'm gonna go with Houston. I think Houston as a team had the best week, and I'm here to say it. Houston's gonna win the championship. I'm here to say it. I think they have the best team.
You're not gonna want to hear who had the worst week for me.
Well, lad,
I'm here to say Houston is gonna win the championship. I think just overall, I mean, you know what I liken it to? Like we're at it's 2 things I'm liking this to. We've all been at the park and we've all been hooping, and we've all played against that team that had a tall player, right? We all played against a team that had a tall player, and we were all short. But what we know is it's easy to beat that team because majority of the time they overcompensate because they want to exploit that mismatch so much, and really the whole offense falls apart. And I'm telling you, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. And I don't think it's really. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I'm gonna be honest.
I disagree.
Man. I'm gonna be honest.
I disagree.
Huh?
Personal experience, man. I disagree, man.
What do you disagree with?
What do you mean? You remember? Mills got 30
Reagan?
put up on him by Will Reagan. I had a whole foot on him.
Yeah, but
Yo, Real Reagan
Turn around, shoot.
was 6'8".
that's true.
A coach thought that. Let's put Mills on him, who is like 5'9". Bro, he turned around.
That was just silly. That
Giving Mills a
was
couple
silly.
inches
that
there.
wasn't well thought out. And to be honest, we weren't the Houston Rockets. So
Nah,
we didn't
I know.
play like them. So that's
Nah, I was the only one that could really shoot on the team.
I wouldn't go that
Me and
far.
Reese.
But, that's not. I shot 50% from the 3-point line, Mike.
You shot 1 3 for the year.
No. That's not true. I took at least 2 threes a game. I shot 50%. That's a fact. Ask Quinte Osborne. He took the stat. But anyway,
He got real.
Oh my God.
Shout out Quinte. He support the show.
Yeah, shout out Quinte. Thank you.
Yo, oh my God, I am crying.
Okay, Mike, who's your best?
I'm crying. I'm gonna be a little cliche here, and I just went to NBA bubble.
Oh God.
I went to NBA bubble. I went to NBA bubble.
Oh,
I'm
God.
going cliche. No, awesome G though, because right, I watch baseball, and baseball is about this close to shutting down. This close, like I mean, games are getting postponed left and right. I mean, the Doug Peterson of the Eagles, the head coach, just got COVID. I don't think the NFL is going to happen either. So the NBA in their bubble, you're not having any positive tests, even with Lou Will going to get wings. Like they are doing a great job in the bubble. They're doing a great job in the bubble, and I want to commend them. And I thought it was great games. Thursday, the Lakers Clippers game, you couldn't beat that. I mean, like I was Zion, even though he didn't play that much. You had the stars. You had stars show up. Luka. I mean, you got stars showing up in the bubble, and they are playing hard. The announcers, the local team announcers are awful. If you got NBA League Pass, they are awful.
I'm never going. Any announcer, you should get your money. Mark Jackson, Van Gundy, Burke. I love all y'all.
Green,
Get
even
all
Reggie
y'all-
Miller.
All y'all get your money.
the
Except
money.
Chris Webber. If Chris Webber talking, not him. But everybody else besides Chris Webber, get the money. Because the people they got on the local teams, terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
So,
God.
but
Oh.
just the whole logistics and everybody that had a hand in it, all the players that actually showed up and are playing hard. Thank
Yeah.
you. All right. Who had the most surprising weekend, right?
The most surprising weekend, I'm gonna go TJ Warren. He dropped 50. He dropped. I know he a scorer. I think he averaged 20 before, or maybe high teens before in his career or whatever. But still, he averaged 40 for over. You know what I mean? Like I think TJ Warren, for the Pacers, Victor Oladipo decided to play anyway. He tried to hold out for a little bit, but I gotta go TJ Warren. He dropped a 53 career high on so I gotta go there.
I think he had 17 like in the first quarter, like today. Like he
Crazy.
dropping buckets right now. He's dropping buckets. How about you, Preach?
Mike, what I say about role players, bro?
Oh my God.
What I say about role players, Mike?
There you go. Yo, the scores I think last Friday was crazy. Like
Yeah.
I think they like broke the record or something. All right.
Let
go
me
ahead,
say
Preach.
this. Honorable mention to Devin Booker, but for me, the most surprising is the Raptors, and I got a hot take. Raptors is coming out the East, and not only that, Kyle Lowry and Van Vliet is the best backcourt in basketball. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna be the first one to say it.
How can they be better than Westbrook and Harden? They better than Westbrook and Harden?
I'm gonna say this again. Van Vliet and Kyle Lowry is the best backcourt. I hesitated in saying that, but the reason why I say it is because Kyle Lowry is the best point guard in the league. That's a fact. That is a fact. And let me say this, Mike.
In the entire NBA?
Mike, if I can change my pick, Pascal Siakam is not the MVP. I want to change it to Kyle Lowry. I'm sorry to the public. I'm going to change it to Kyle Lowry now. Kyle Lowry, I'm going to tell you this. As a scoring point guard, as a defender, as a player that initiates offense, as a player that facilitates, and as a player who is the best, him and PJ Tucker, at taking charges. I mean, Kyle Lowry just does everything for me, and he's a great leader.
He's not even going to make first team.
Is because we all know, I'm just being honest, the reason why it's surprising is because we saw Kyle Lowry choke. But I believe, after that stint with Kawhi last year, I think he turned over a new leaf, man. And he is the best point guard in basketball.
Yeah, you gotta stop saying that.
No,
he have to stop saying that.
He is. He is the best point guard in basketball. And let me say, I'm gonna walk it back. They're not the best backcourt because you're right. James Harden and Russell Westbrook is because they're going to win a championship, but they're definitely second. I love Van Vliet. I'm a Van Vliet fan.
When you got the guards like we got Luka, Dame.
Can I say this? Luka, hot take. Luka has hit his ceiling. He will never be better than this right now. That's a fact.
He's pretty good.
I mean,
he's pretty good. So I think Luka would be okay with that. Like
he will never be better than what he is right now.
So Kyle Lowry is better than Damian Lillard.
Kyle Lowry is the best point guard in basketball.
Okay. All right. Better than Steph Curry.
Kyle Lowry is the best point guard in basketball.
So we could keep naming point guards, but you just gonna keep saying Kyle Lowry is the best.
I'm going to tell you that Kyle Lowry is the best point guard in basketball right now.
All right, Priest, but you know the issue is, right? Last week you said that Clippers was gonna win the championship in 5.
Did I say that?
Yes, handily.
No,
you said handily over the Bucks.
No, I gave a caveat and I said Houston.
Yeah,
Everybody heard.
Houston against somebody, right? So you did. That was one of your dark
Boston
teams.
It was Boston. But Jason Tatum is a bad player.
and then last week you said Tatum was better than Giannis. That's our issue.
Listen,
you did not. You did not walk anything back.
Huh?
You walking it back now?
You didn't walk that back.
No. Jason Tatum is not bad. I'm gonna say that he's not bad, but Jason Tatum is not all that I said he was. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna come clean.
That's the issue.
I guess he gotta keep that preach name. He can't go to profit, y'all. I'm sorry.
He gotta go. We strip and profit. You back to preach.
I
go ahead, man.
He was gonna be great. I said he was, and he didn't show up for me. I'm sorry.
No, neither did Mitchell. What happened to that 39 he was going to drop?
Yeah. Mitchell does that for me too, man. You know what I think? And I'm gonna be honest. I think the COVID is having after effects on him. So I don't know. They say he
And
has
you had the Clippers winning by handily by 16 over the Lakers.
He was just wrong. So
Yeah.
we all know Sam was just
So
wrong.
that's our issue. Was you saying Kyle Lowry? Are you gonna walk that back next week? Or are you 10
Oh, that's
toes
a
down?
fact. Oh, that's a fact. He's walking.
I'm not gonna walk that back. I honestly believe that Kyle Lowry is the best point guard in basketball. And as far as that Clippers piece, styles make fights, you know. So
Well, Lou Will, and Trez wasn't there. They couldn't score.
exactly. But they just but to the viewing public, I mean, they just lost to Phoenix today. And shout out to my man Devin Booker.
All right, go ahead, Melly. Who are the most surprising weekend to you?
Surprising weekend. I'm not gonna even just say weekend because I'm gonna include today too.
PJ
I'm
Warren.
gonna go to Brooklyn Nets, man. They 2-0 in a bubble. They beat the Bucks today. They've been averaging about 112 points. Yeah, they beat the Bucks by 1 point.
They lost the very first game.
This weekend I'm talking about. They won on Sunday and they won.
You're not including the Friday game?
I mean today. I wasn't including the Friday game.
All right.
And Giannis only played one half, bro. But
It doesn't matter.
That's a fact because I can't name anybody on that team.
They win it. They win it with 33 wins, and you're not expected to even hold no weight, in a bubble. And I mean they played a solid 2 games.
I mean, like Raz said, when Giannis get out at halftime, it's like it's the Nets, right? So I give you credit, I guess, for that.
Yeah, they should have lost. Ask the bettors; they'll tell you.
Yeah, but Giannis. All right, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, but so y'all might as well go ahead and throw your arms up in the air again because I got another answer you're not gonna like. But man, I went with the referees, man.
Oh,
I went with the referees, man. Yo, listen. I told y'all go ahead, get your arms ready, get them loose. Yo, listen.
The text was wild. The text was wild.
I am a ref. So I've been a ref since 2014. So I watch the game probably different than y'all three. I watch the refs a good percent of the time, make sure that their position is right, look at their mechanics. I swear, look, I'm gonna put up a poll with all the refs. They agree with me. Refs, we watched other refs. And one thing that I was surprised at was the amount of travels that they were calling inside the bubble. Just like cause. Oh, yeah, well, I know, but they travel during the regular season too. And I think
was terrible.
And I think, but they weren't really even calling those. It was more to catch the ball, the pump fake, dribble, run before you dribble. Like they call that almost every single time. And I think as a ref, when you show up, if you walk in, you get changed, and you leave, and nobody notices you, that's a great job. So when you are reffing, especially in the NBA, you got 20,000 fans there that pay all this money. They are there to see basketball, not to see you call travels all day. But since there's no fans and they are in this bubble, I feel like they are really trying to crack down on those lazy travels. And go ahead.
Since you're a ref, do you think, because in theory, sometimes the crowd noise can cancel out the hearing the feet move. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And since there's no crowd noise, do you think that may play a part in it? I don't know.
I will say not for the noise, because like I said, I don't hear like the sneakers normally anyways.
Okay.
But for the lot of the text, not having a crowd after a big dunk, not having a crowd noise of people going crazy, and you hearing somebody call somebody, whatever, anything but a child of God. Like those texts are getting called too. So I think not having fans there, I think the refs are really cracking down on those lazy travels, not the Euro steps, not the step backs. It's a lot of those negative steps, dribbling before you put down, grammar school fundamentals. They are cracking down on that, and they aren't playing. If you do it, they are calling it, and I respect that. I like that. I love seeing it.
The foul calls are up too. They say I think it's an average of 10 extra fouls called per game compared to earlier this year. So they just reffing, I guess.
I would want to see the breakdown of that, because it's probably some theory of the home team is probably getting more foul calls on them because there's no home court
Normally, yeah.
advantage. Normally, some refs may like, all right, they at home, we call this, it's gonna go crazy. But since it's none of that, bro, you can just ref. It's like me when I do my fourth grade games, and it's two parents in the stand. I'm just calling the game. I'm not really worried about after the game I gotta have to square up with somebody in the parking lot. So
Who you calling in a fourth grade game?
The fourth grade game is funny.
bro, I call it tight. I'm getting them ready for the league.
You're not calling travels in a fourth grade game.
Man, you never see me ref. Man,
Mike call.
I got a quick whistle, man. You don't know. And I tee you up. I gave my first tee maybe about 2 weeks before the shutdown and pandemic happened.
To a
And
fourth
you're
grader?
lucky. No. It was men's league. To the Joe Dumars. Y'all lucky. 'Cause I was coming back. I was ready. I gave my first tee. I got out my system. I'm ready to go now. But that's who I thought had the most surprising weekend, because I didn't expect to see all these travels getting called and all these fouls and texts going up. All right, last one. Preach. Who had the worst weekend?
LeBron and Luka. LeBron James. I think we can see the
LeBron and
handwriting on the wall. When Toronto played them, they was pressuring him as if he could not dribble,
He can't.
and it was taking a toll on him. So
I'm just like,
LeBron James, for me, he had one of the worst weekends, and also Luka Doncic. He showed me some troubling things, man. I'm gonna be honest.
he just had 34, 20, and 12.
Yeah,
And
I
he
know.
had 40 the day before that.
And that's fine. I think personally,
Okay.
he just fills the stat sheet. I think that's what he does. I don't think he's gonna win games. I'm gonna be honest. He reminds me of Carmelo Anthony in his heyday. Not necessarily how he plays, but just the overall package of it. And like I said earlier, Luka Doncic, I think personally, granted, he is a great player, but this is his ceiling. He will never get better.
Yo.
They saying they gonna get MVP votes.
No, let's stop. Are we gonna act like Priest did not say last week he can see Luka taking somebody to the championship?
I never
And
said
now, oh my, Preach. I got
can't
all the
co-sign. I don't
film.
know.
I will
Check
clip
the
it.
film. Check the film.
He
He is
said
our tech
Luka.
guy, bro.
He said Luka can take somebody. You can see Luka taking somebody to the championship, and now you were saying that all he does. I Preach.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you can't keep a track of all the stuff you said. You said a lot
I
of
do.
stuff.
I keep track.
Like you
track.
say a
All
lot,
of
you
you.
say a lot of stuff.
For all of
if-
you on social media, we might get the clip out.
No, I'll find the clip. I'm gonna put it in right here.
Listen, I got Houston. I got Philly if they allow Shake Milton to have every shot that Ben Simmons would have. I got Boston, and my last team. This is the dark horse, the Mavericks. I think Luka can take somebody to a title.
Got him! Got him!
All right, go ahead. All right, go ahead, Millie.
Preach brought him up earlier. The Utah Jazz, they've been awful. They're barely averaging 100 a game. The chemistry is just terrible, and I don't see any passion on that team at all. Like, it's just horrendous.
They started the pandemic.
Like,
They didn't.
They ain't started.
But
They ain't
yo,
started. But you know what I'm saying.
I said, was it weird that Utah and Rudy Gobert was the first team to win a game after the pandemic, since they are the quote unquote, they aren't the reason the season got canceled, but they are the team that canceled it. So I agree, Mills. Go ahead, keep going.
that's it, bro. I'm done. Short and sweet. You know me.
Short and sweet. All right, Utah Jazz. All right, who you got?
All right. So it's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna do it anyway. My team that I think is gonna be the Houston Rockets.
Oh
And this
my
is why.
God.
This is why.
Talking
This is-
about? You're just thinking, yo.
Let me finish.
Let him finish, Preach. Let him finish.
Let me finish.
Let him finish.
The Houston Rockets. This is why. I watched both their games, and they played two tough games, and I think the other teams lost the game. They didn't win. This is what I'm saying.
Yo, where the Russell Westbrook meme at? Where that Westbrook meme at?
Hate him. This is what I'm saying. Houston, the way Houston plays, I don't think that's gonna win a championship at all. Because they, for one, they take the most of the least percentage shot. Like they take the most threes and it's the lowest percentage shot.
That's not true.
They just broke the record. They took 61. They just broke the record.
What I'm saying is, you're saying it's a less percentage shot, but I don't necessarily agree with.
I'm talking about on the I'm talking about compared to layups and free throws. It's the league average is 35% from the three. That's what I'm talking about. It's the lowest percentage shot. That's what I'm saying. Now reach the biggest reward if you hit the most because it's 3 points. I get that. But what I'm saying is,
do you get that?
Yes,
no. Do you get that though? Because
yes, I get that. But when you're relying on Patrick Tucker to shoot 15 a game, PJ Tucker to shoot 15 a game, and he 2 for 15, that's terrible. So what I'm saying is, when you give up double the amount of rebounds and you gotta put your faith in PJ Tucker from the corner shooting 53s a game. That's going to win championships, and you got to rely on other teams like the Bucks to have they didn't have a good game. They played bad down the stretch. You got to rely on other teams to play bad down the stretch in order for you to win. What I'm saying is they cannot be a team that plays great. If the Houston got to rely on teams to be lesser than themselves and then to have a good game. If both teams come and play both, if Houston, whoever they playing, both play the top games, Houston's going to lose majority of the games to me because I think they rely on other factors to win, and I think that type of playing style is going to win a championship. I think so. When I'm watching those games, it put me to the point of saying, "Yo, Houston, they're not going to win like this. They can't win like this. It's not going to happen."
Okay, I have the complete opposite take. And the reality is, Houston is top 3 in wins against teams that are above 500, right? So they beat good teams. That's a fact. And when it comes to this, for the 3-point thing, I've given into it because the percentages, I mean, it just makes sense. So the point is, for every 2 you have, I'm going to make a 3. And I'm going to make the percentage, right? No, listen. If I am a 38% shooter, right? That means if I'm 38, 40, like anywhere around that, clearly, if I shoot enough of these, like the percentages say, I'm going to make enough in order to beat your 2-pointers. That's just a fact. I mean, that's just analytics. But that's neither here nor there.
But do you know can I give you a Milwaukee stat? All right, you can finish.
The reality is this. The reason why they're going to win is because their defense in the 4th quarter. I think people don't look at that enough. I think they clamp up. Russell Westbrook, Covington, PJ Tucker, they clamp up. And I've seen it, right? They really clamp up, and they're never out of a game. They're literally never out of any game. And Eric Gordon is not playing right now, so that's just another player, that's going to take over. James Harden is probably one of the, he might be better than Giannis. That's neither here nor there. And Russell Westbrook is playing the best basketball of his entire life right now. He is facilitating the right way. When he's in with that second unit,
no. 2 shows ago, you said Westbrook was the best player in the league 3 years ago. So he the best player in the league right now?
I didn't say that. I didn't. Did you hear me say that Westbrook is the best player in the league?
You said that. You said 2 years ago Westbrook was the best player in the league.
Basketball. He's playing his best basketball.
So if he was the best player in the league 2 years ago, he playing his best basketball right now, that makes him the best player in the league. No,
it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You can be the MVP of the league and not play your best basketball.
Okay.
Basketball is a nuanced game, Ray. I don't know if you knew that.
No, you're right.
Right? Because individual accolades.
I'm sorry I spoke out.
Okay,
you're right.
And I'm here to teach. Individual accolades and things of that nature doesn't necessarily mean you're playing your best basketball. Right now, Russell Westbrook is in control of himself. He's not taking necessarily boneheaded shots. And I'm going to be honest, man. I'm going to be honest. The height advantage is really not a factor, man. I'm seeing it. We're seeing it right before our eyes. People really can't take advantage of it, man.
Bro, they barely winning, bro. Cut it out. They barely winning.
They're going to win it. Okay. They're gonna win the championship. You heard it first.
I would say that Peter Tucker in the corner, like they treat him like the modern day Bruce Bowen. Defense, and you stay in the corner and shoot threes.
And he missed a lot. He was like 0 for 10 at one point, bro. I can't.
I'm a Harden fan.
I can't do that, bro. I can't rely on that. And the Milwaukee stat is they the number one defensive team in the league, and they give up the most threes. Why? Because they lock down the paint. They take all the high percentage shots away and give you the lower percentage shots. And they're the number one defensive team in the league. That's why they're the number one. They give up the most 3-point shots. That's a fact. Look that up.
So you mean that Houston will beat Milwaukee if they see him in the finals? That's what you're saying?
No, I won't. They won't.
So okay, I thought that's what you just said.
Oh man, y'all two are hilarious. But for me, the worst weekend, you might as well go ahead throw your arms up in the air right now because you're not gonna. Nah, I'm lying. I actually got a basketball team here, and sorry, Rad, I went with the Pelicans, man. I went with the Pelicans, man. It's 100 reasons for it. Do you want me to start naming them? You want to start naming them?
There's one major one.
It's like 7 major reasons, but I'm only gonna give you like 3. Number 1, they had a very first game of the joint against Utah. 1, I think Lonzo Ball played the worst basketball I ever seen in my life that game. He was awful the entire game.
He had a bad game.
No. He had the worst basketball game I have ever seen in my life. It was that bad. Bro, I put on Facebook, I was like, yo, Lonzo must be trying here for some cardio because he not playing a lick of basketball. He didn't do nothing. He didn't make no shots. He wasn't playing no defense. It was all bad. 2, you got Zion coming and like give him a spark. I thought he looked a little heavy, a little weird, but he came in, gave you that spark. And while 2.1 million people was watching, they seen that the Pelicans has no clue how to manage his minutes. Like, where's Zion at? It's the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left. Where's Zion at? And then the next game, they got blown up by the Clippers. And he had another 15 minutes. They had no clue how to manage his minutes. I think Monday, they played him maybe like 25 minutes or so. I think they are finally learning. But that first 2 games, it was like, okay, the Pelicans shouldn't even showed up if they was going to do this. So that's why I had them down as had a terrible weekend. Having Lonzo playing like he played and having Zion not
Memphis didn't win a game yet. Memphis didn't win a game yet.
I mean, I could care less about that.
I'm saying they're the AFC. I'm saying they didn't win a game yet.
Yeah, but I mean, I wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. That's unfortunate. I like Morant though. Morant, he been playing all right, but the whole Zion's just like I'm like, bro. I am watching the very first game. Like, where is Zion? And he was nowhere to be found. And
They babying them. If Zion play, I think we 2-1.
And then
play more.
And then Brandon Ingram is going off, and KD tweet number 14 is a problem. And I think Brandon Ingram scored a bucket after that. He went cold. I mean, it was a terrible showing for them that first day. That weekend was all bad, but I think they turn it around. Rad. So I do.
Yeah, Zion
I want them or Portland to get that 8th seed. One of them. All right. So, but I do want to ask y'all about Zion and his minutes. It seemed like I think they got it under control now. But were you worried for a minute there, Mills? Was you worried that Zion was only going to play 10 minutes a game?
I was not worried, only because if you look at the regular season before, we went out on COVID and everything like that, to me personally, the Pelicans look like a better team with Zion on the floor.
No, they are a better team with Zion on the floor.
That is my opinion. They're a better team with him on the floor.
No, that's a fact.
Well, the last couple of shows when I throw the word "we" out there, it's a problem. So I try to stay away from that this time. So, you know what I'm saying? But like you said, they're a better team with Zion on the floor. I mean, you have to find that comfort zone for your players, what they can handle. I mean, I think he can handle a lot more than 25 minutes, to be honest with you. But what I can say is his shooting has been terrible these games. He hasn't been great shooting at all. I think he was he was less than 50%, I believe. But him just being on the floor, the atmospheres change, the momentum change. You need that guy. You need somebody like that. He is the spark plug for the Pelicans, and you play him as much as you can if you want to win, obviously.
Well, Rad, you are the Pelicans fan here. What were you thinking the first two games?
I heard I didn't hear the whole 3-4 minute burst. I was kind of disappointed. I was like, what? I was disappointed at that. And then when you play some, it wasn't like important minutes. Like every game counts. Like I know y'all trying to make the playoffs, right? It seemed like, they wasn't trying to make the playoffs. Something like they're just giving up or whatever. Why come to the bubble then? Just don't come to the bubble. If y'all like, he's off for 4 months, and then he can't play more than 14 minutes, bro. Come on, like. So I understand, he was gone for the 13. He didn't get the reps or whatever, but let him just go out there, run and try to figure it out. I think they overbabying him, and I understand you like your future, but geez, like it was OD. I think that we would have won that first game, even though he had a best game in the first game. His plus minus like minus 16 or something. But him being on the floor, giving him that extra threat, that extra option, would have been helpful down the stretch, like it was against Memphis. When he came in the last 6 minutes for Memphis, it was all a difference in the game. So I think, when they played, I think Lonzo played better because them lobs. Lonzo played better with Zion on the floor, period. You know what I mean? I think so. Everybody played better. Brandon Ingram is not the main focus, and he can get easier shots. I think it's a completely different team if Zion on the floor. It's just that simple, and I think they got figured out. And I think, we got the easiest schedule left. Out of the next 6 games, we got the easiest schedule. So I think we either going to get 8th seed or 9th seed and get that playing game. Either one.
All right. How about you, Preach?
Zion's fat. And he's out of shape. And he really doesn't deserve to play. And I think it's a smart thing by the Pelicans to say, I'm not going to put him out here to risk injury. He's literally our future. He cannot get hurt. And that's just the facts. Like, I don't know what he was doing during the pandemic, but he's fat. He got big. He's out of shape. So they put him on a minutes restriction, which is makes sense.
He looked the same. I don't think
he literally does not look the same. He's fat.
NBA season, he looked the same. Now he looked better than
so why not just decline? Why not decline the rest of the bubble and just go home?
Well, they couldn't because
they
let him. Zion is an attraction. As long as he's on the bench, it's fine. You know what I mean? They put him in spurts. They have to, because if you leave him out there, he's going to be winded. He's fat.
Well, you're taking away from other teams. Go home. You're not.
We were worried that Zion was going to come in a little chubby, and I didn't think he looked like as athletic. But still, when he's on the floor, bro, like just him being out there, just the fact that he grabbed a board and they just gone, like he just push it up, and next throw it to Zoe, throw it back, give him go, alley-oop. Like that, man, that is nice for them. But so hopefully they figure that out. Hopefully Zion play in shape. So we'll see. All right, the second game of the night was the Battle of LA. We talked about LeBron already. AD, man, 34. He went off. I think Paul George had 30. Kawhi had 28. Great game. LeBron had 16 and 11. I gotta throw in that 11 because 16 doesn't cut it. He did make the game-winning shot. So Preach, let me. What is your takeaway from that game? Obviously, you had the Clippers winning the championship last week, and now it's Rockets. So tell me about the game, man. What happened?
For me, it's a mere bag of shells. Anthony Davis is a great player. I think that, for the Clippers, that's kind of a kryptonite for them specifically for some reason. I don't know. They can't really figure that out. The LeBron piece, he was on shackles. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, they played well. It was a toss-up game. It was literally a toss-up game. So, they're two evenly matched teams. Lou Williams did not play, Lemon Pepper Lou. And
Montrez didn't play either. Montrez here.
Lemon Pepper Lou. Pepper Lou.
Hold on, wait, where you get that from, Preach? I never heard that.
Oh no, that's from Shannon Sharp. Shout out to him.
I
didn't make that up.
That's the episode name. Lemon Pepper Lou.
I know he does.
Anyway.
He does have wings named after him. It might be Lemon Pepper Lou.
No, it is lemon pepper.
Okay,
Lou.
because
That's-
those the wings he named
that's
named
wings,
after him.
lemon pepper
Okay,
Lou.
okay. All right.
But yeah. So, can I say this just real quickly? Landry Shamet is terrible, and it needs to be said. But I just want to throw that out there. I don't. People thought that he was good. Landry Shamet is really like he's a bad player. He's not good. Like he might not be an NBA player. I'm gonna be honest. But and shout out to him. Shout out to him. I pray that he.
Shout out to him.
Yeah. That game is a mere bag of shells for me. I don't think it really told us anything.
Yeah, I said with Lou and Trez, that second unit, man, they just didn't have it. They did not have it. How about you, Mills?
I agree with Preach. Like I said last week, California will be the NBA champions.
Definitely
which
down with
one?
that.
Which one is up in the air? I mean, we know it's going to be out of those two teams. I think it was too early to tell which one. First game coming in, it's tough to tell. Great game though, overall great game. I do believe that you can tell that leadership plays a major role on a team. Although LeBron did have not the best game, he did play a big role as a leader. Putting people in the right places. Inspiring players to put their best effort out there on the court. Watch the film, bro. LeBron was in the ears of his.
Well, was he patting butts or something? Like, what are you talking about?
No, but you can tell that the players that are surrounded around him look up to him, and you can tell that they have that chemistry off the basketball court that makes it stronger on the basketball court, if that makes sense. And I think the Clippers are lacking in that leadership area from the player perspective.
Oh, damn. All right.
My takes from it was that the Lakers wanted the game more. I think the Lakers wanted the game more. Also take is if Paul George playing like this, if Paul George can play like this in the playoffs when it counts, when it matters, I think Paul George is one of those X factors that you can't. He got everything. He got all the tools. He got all the hammers, as Mills. He got all the hammers in his toolbox. So I think Paul George, he can definitely go get in his bag and just be all that. But Anthony Davis showed up. I think based on how LeBron is playing, I understand. My first thought was what Sam said earlier is that LeBron might be, I don't know what's going on, but I think he's more so. I think he's trying to position AD to take over that load of scoring and not really pressing and being, the dominant force that he can possibly be. That's what I'm going to hang my hat on and say that, he's kind of pulling it back a little bit. They got the number 1 seed now. They locked it up. I think that was the goal. They got it. And I think you're going to see a better version of LeBron in the playoffs.
Anything to the LeBron locked up Kawhi and PG, and Kawhi doesn't have any moves? Did you see that on the internet?
Yeah, I think both of them are both limited with moves. LeBron and Kawhi don't have necessarily moves per se, but they get to their spots and they consistent and that's all that matters. They get to their spots. Kawhi can get to the spot all the time, and you slow down. LeBron actually held Kawhi's arm and it stopped him from getting the shot up. So to each his own. When it comes down to the playoffs, is LeBron gonna do that? Is LeBron gonna do that in the playoffs when it comes down when it matters? I don't know. We'll see.
See, if y'all would have had me out there ref, I would have seen that. That's neither here or there, NBA. I preach. You made a face. What you got to say about the Kawhi not having moves?
People shouldn't talk basketball.
I mean, like, you talk about bug. Like Paul George got bug. I guess. I mean, that's when people say moves. I say that. Like, if you're somebody who got bugs, can like create, but Kawhi can create space. LeBron can create space. They don't need all the fancy.
Like, I don't even know why we even like.
But when people say that, I know what they mean.
Don't know basketball.
When people say that, I know what they mean.
I know what they mean. Having wig and having like just a move like a jab step and just go to the basket. Like if I don't have the sham guy, why do I have the sham guy? Like if I'm going past you, I'm going past you.
Bryant didn't have a wig. He was the greatest player of all time. But it doesn't need to end up there. You can go.
All right, let's move on. So we got some games August 6th that I want to run through, just get y'all picks So let's go through. No explanation. No explanation. Just who's going to win. That's it. Mill, start with you. Pelicans, Kings. Who you got?
Kings.
All right, all right, Rat.
Pelicans.
Pelicans.
All right. All right. And I'm gonna go Pelicans too. It's sure.
No more Angie's.
Because Angie
No more
was
Angie's
terrible.
pick?
You don't want to bring that up, Mike. You don't want to bring that up. Yeah, Angie was terrible. No disrespect to Angie, though.
Hey, you ain't want to talk about my significant other like that. Why?
I said no disrespect.
Hey,
She
man,
was terrible
you're doing
on
a
her
great
pick.
job, babe. You're doing a great job. You keep it up.
Yeah.
She know Giannis now, so she may be learning too much basketball for this to be useful study. But we're gonna keep going until it's not.
Y'all hear that?
But you're
Mike
right.
and
You're
Rad-
right. You're right. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let Angie get the picks. I'm gonna put them up later. All right,
So
Pacers
y'all know-
Suns.
Mike and Rad lying. Mike him in the Han. He putting Angie first. Rad putting Tasteful Creations first. I ain't hear that.
Oh,
What's the game? What's the game?
Pacers Suns. Who you got, Preach?
This is a tough one for me. I got the
Warner Booker. Who scored more points?
No. Go Rad. Who you
it's
got?
tough. It's tough. I'm gonna go Indiana. Better team.
How about you, Mills?
Pacers.
All right, Preach. Come on, it's on
It's
you.
a tough
now.
one though. It's a tough.
I'm gonna
one.
go to
It's
Suns.
tough. It's a tough one.
All right, went Suns. All right, we got Heat
Not
Bucks.
good.
You
Who?
didn't pick.
Heat versus the Bucks.
Who you
You
got,
didn't
Mike?
pick.
I'm gonna have Angie do them.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna have Angie do it, bro.
I got
We gonna keep going.
Bucks. I think they want to clinch that one seed. I'm gonna go Bucks.
All right, how about you, Mills?
On Heat.
Preach.
I got the Heat. I don't think the Bucks is playing anymore.
You think they done? I mean,
I mean,
Raz just said that they're trying to lock up the one.
But then why didn't Giannis play?
Because he probably thought the Nets was doing some janky stuff to Giannis, man. Had to get him out of there.
Oh,
Yeah, Giannis, he's ready to scrap.
He's ready to scrap.
If Giannis is, if the Nets, if the Bucks are really playing, then I got the Bucks. But
No. Pick a team.
I got the Heat. I just
All right.
Yeah, no, I got it now. All right, Trailblazers, Nuggets.
Ooh.
Blazers.
If
Blazers.
Michael Porter really got that thing on him, I don't know,
The
dog.
Blazers, Mike. I got the Blazers. I
If
know
Michael Porter is he was the diamond in the rough, and I said it during the draft on my other pod. I said, if Michael Porter become what they think Denver gonna be the team of the future. But I'm gonna go Denver. Michael Porter look like he that boy. Whew.
No love for Bobo.
They don't play him. They played him 4 minutes. They don't play the man. Michael Porter that boy though.
Clippers, Rockets. I mean, sorry. Clippers, Mavericks.
Clippers.
Dallas.
Oh, this is some tough games. Clippers. I don't love that.
All right.
Though.
And then the last game of the night is the Lakers versus Rockets. So I want to get into this a little bit. Mills, tell me who wins this and why.
I am going Rockets. I think it's going to be a fast-paced game. And I think it's a disadvantage to the Lakers when the game is fast-paced.
All right, how about you, Rat? Who you got?
I got Rockets winning. Lakers don't care. They clinched the 1 seed. I don't even know if LeBron or AD gonna play the whole game or even play. But I got the Rockets.
Well, when do the playoffs start?
It's only 8 games in regular season, so
They
they
pro-
got to
yeah.
be next week or in the next 2 weeks.
I say, they can't just like not play for like 2 weeks though. They're going to have to play.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't know they might do
They gonna
pull
play-
what the Bucks did. Yeah, I
have-
don't see. And you can't play with AD. AD get hurt every game, so you gotta really play him a couple minutes, put him down.
Well,
I,
let me say this real quick. The 1 seed does not mean anything because there's no home court advantage. So I don't understand that.
It means that if you
play the FC.
playing, you playing the AC. What are you talking about?
I mean,
Potentially the worst
but-
team in the playoffs.
Okay, that's the mirror back show. But we were talking about the Blazers, the worst team in the playoffs. Really? Are they? The Trailblazers are?
They're not the
Maybe.
eighth seed. Memphis Grizzlies are the eighth seed.
Yeah, I mean now, but okay, that remains to be seen. I got
All right.
the Rockets, and the reason why is because Alex Caruso, KCP,
He been balling.
Kyle Kuzma, and I love Deion Waiters, but they're all bad. So
All right, we're going to see what Angie picks, and then I'll let everybody know. All right, man, let's get into it. Fan favorite. It's that time. It's time for the Millie Rock Solid Picks of the Week.
I'm Millie Rock on any block. I'm Millie Rock on any block. I'm Millie Rock on any block. I'm Millie Rock on any block.
All right, Mills. So as I said last week, we were gonna throw some money down. We did. We won. We won a couple of dollars. Not crazy, y'all. Don't be texting me asking me to hold nothing. It was just a couple of dollars. That's it.
Couple dollars.
So we won. So if you listened to the show last week and you took Mills' advice, you would have won some money too. So let me recap those picks, Mills. So you had Portland -2, you had the Suns -7, and you had the Rockets and Suns over 226. I think they got that by like halftime, to be honest. So Mills, were you nervous at any point last week?
I was nervous with the Portland game.
Oh, absolutely.
It was a nail biter, and if they did not go to overtime, I don't know what would have happened.
Back to the basket, Melo. I don't know what happened. Basket to basket, Melo.
Well, but and to throw that out there, that concept was terrible because Melo was hitting them threes, bro. He missed the one drink. He was too close to the wing. The two prior was a little deeper in the corner. He moved closer to the wing this time. You know, he got a little rim action, but we still had a good Melo. That was a good Melo, man.
So what's your picks, Mills? What are your picks?
I know. So, all right. I'm laughing at something Mills just said. I'm gonna chill. This is a family podcast. All right. So, boom. But Mills, you went 3-0 last week. There's a lot of pressure on you now, bro. Because now people listening. They listen. They want to know who's they bet on. Can Mills go 2-0? Let me hear him.
3 games. I'm gonna give y'all 3 games. I'm gonna give y'all one right after this podcast, man. So if y'all got a car, get in the car, get down there quick. We got the Raptors versus the Magic. I believe the game is going to be under 224.5. They're not going to score that much. It's not going to be a high scoring game.
I like that.
I'm gonna go with the under for that game.
I hate under, so I'm hoping you lose this one, bro.
Take the under.
Come on, Mike.
I hate unders, bro.
Raptors ain't scoring. They love defense.
I don't mind now. It's the Magic. I don't care if they score a lick. So I'm with the under, Mills. All right, what you got? What else next?
Two Thursday games. We got Dallas versus the Clippers. As I stated previously, I got Dallas winning. Dallas is plus 3.5. I'm taking Dallas plus 3.5.
Okay, I like that. I'll take the plus 3.5.
I take the plus 3.
Yeah, I'm not taking the money.
They gonna score.
Oh, 3.5.
I would tease it up.
I think Dallas 2 is gonna outplay the Clippers 2. My opinion.
Ooh. All right. I'm sure some bets. I'm sure some bets for Luka points that you may throw down too. All right. What's your last one, Mills?
Final game, Thursday. Lakers, Rockets. Like Raz stated before, Lakers already clinched that #1 seed. If they didn't really throw anything out there yet, so I can't give you guys really no numbers. But if we're going to go over and under, if there's anything showing that the game may be over 215 points, take the under.
Wow.
It's going to be under 215.
Wow.
Really?
It's going to be under 215. Mark my words. You heard it first here.
That's
Under
nothing.
215.
That's what, yo. The Rockets might score that by themselves.
Yeah, they might have like
215.
Tease it down, y'all. Tease it down.
The Lakers may not hit 100.
It's gonna be 220 at least.
The Lakers are not going to hit 100.
Okay.
Oh, so you really believe that LeBron and AD not playing the second half at all?
Even they playing, they don't hit 100. They kind of been low scoring too. Lakers been 101, 102. And stuff, so.
Yeah, it have been.
I hear you. I mean,
look, yeah. It's not gonna be 215. It's not gonna be 215. So it's gonna be probably like 224 and a half. And if Mills saying under 215, if you get 224.5 and you like the under, you take that all day. Like I said, tease it. Tease it to 215.
Empty the bank account. Empty the bank account.
Oh god.
Definitely don't do that.
Empty the clip. Empty the
smoke.
clip. We emptying the clip.
No smoke.
Yo, do anyone know how long we've been? I have no
At least 2
idea.
hours.
Nah,
Bro.
we started 8:30.
Bro, the culture was an hour, bro.
Yeah, it is 2 hours. We're 2 hours now.
Man, I want to talk some Ross Chains, but
Let's pick a winner. Let's pick a winner.
Yeah, all right, Mills, who got Ross versus Chains?
Huh. Bro.
All right, no. Let's pause. Because I feel like this is gonna be stupid. How many rounds are you giving 2 Chains? I think that's the better question. Because
Sam got 2 Chains winning.
Nah, no, we don't. How many rounds you got 2 Chains winning, Mills? No, Mills, Priest, don't start. How many rounds you got 2 Chains winning? I think that's the better question.
Are we talking?
Just rounds. Just throw a number out there. What you think?
2 Chainz got a lot of good features. If we're throwing feature songs in there,
No, it is.
So-
It's in there.
So do Ross.
I give it, if it's 20 rounds, I give him 5 to 7.
All right. How about you, Rat? Ross? Well, I know you're picking Ross because you did last week. How many rounds you giving Chains? AKA T Boy.
I give. I'm close to Mills. 15-5, 14-6, 15-5, 14-6, something like that.
All right.
Something like that. It's the features. It's the features for 2 Chainz. He got a couple joints. I'm not gonna front on Mike. They got a couple joints, but the features for 2 Chainz, I'm getting about 5 or 6 of them joints.
So I guess Priest. Let me ask you, who you got Ross versus Chains?
It's tough for me.
It's not tough, bro.
It is because again, Ross has a better catalog. He has a better discography, but as far as 20 songs,
Everything.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Ross. Probably. I think Chain's gonna get at least 8-9 songs, man. I'm gonna be honest.
Hey, bro.
That's almost 50%.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's
I
a
think
coin
it's gonna be
flip.
close.
I'm just making sure we're not doing rap math today. I'm just making sure we're not doing rap math today. But
No, we're
50%
not.
is a lot.
I'm aware of that, Mills, but I honestly believe that I think it's going to be closer than what people think it is.
It's not,
Because but I'm telling y'all, because y'all confusing these battles every time. It's not about an album. It is only about songs. And I think 2 Chainz.
We know, Rick Ross. What are you talking about?
Who is confusing anything? Nobody's confusing anything at all. What are you talking about?
I mean, y'all can say whatever y'all want to say, but I mean, I got listen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it a stack, man.
Yo.
Like some of 2 Chainz songs to me, they just better than Raw songs. I'm gonna be
Yo.
honest. I don't know what else to
Alright.
tell you.
Because, all right,
Bro, I'm
Because-
looking. Bro,
No,
Apple
let-
Music got like a little cheat sheet thing going on, bro.
Oh, it's
I'm
up there already?
sorry. Bro,
Yo.
I'm sorry, bro.
Rad, let me hop in, Rad. Let me hop in. Because this is obviously not a Snoop versus X like it was last week. This is not 2 legends. And this is not even Fab versus Jada, where one is maybe the better artist, but the other is called the better lyricist. Ross is the better of everything. Literally the better of everything. So if 2 Chainz get more than 5 songs, to me, it's Rick Ross almost throwing him a bone. Because I've been listening to only albums. I've been listening to 2 Chainz albums and Ross albums since last week, just playing them back and forth. And it's not even close. Now, Chainz do got some fire features though. That I was only playing out. He got some fire features, but so do Ross.
My
But
God.
so do Ross. If Chains get more than 5, if Chains get 8 or 9, like you saying, Ross then he threw him a bone. I'm calling it, Rob. The fix is it, Ross. I'm on to you, Ross. I'm on to you.
Bro,
we gonna
Ross can play Monster as a feature. Bro, that's a crazy like
That's one song, right?
2 Chainz don't got nothing for that. That's what I'm like. All right, just all right.
You say
No,
that.
we gonna see.
You're the only person that's saying that.
No, listen. 3 of us are saying it. You are literally the only one that's saying that.
That's
But
not true.
we're gonna see Thursday as the verses. We're gonna have a recap next week. But apparently we've been 2 hours. I don't think that's true. 'Cause I feel like I can go another 2. But it was a great show. On the Culture Roundtable, it got deeper than it ever has before. So I thought that was new. Thought that was fresh, and I appreciate that. Good thought. Basketball always perfect because Preach always saying something crazy. I'm gonna find out that Luka joint, and then saying great show. Like I said, please follow us, subscribe, Apple Podcast, Spotify. Follow us. We post daily on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Facebook. Go ahead.
Last thing, so we're gonna pick a random subscriber and Mills gonna send him a t-shirt, right, Mills?
T-shirt on me.
Yeah, t-shirt on Mills.
All right, bet. But on Facebook, we think it's a sports show with a question mark. On Twitter, we think this a SP1. On YouTube, we think it's a sports show. And on Instagram, we are WTIASS_716. So just the acronyms for we think it's a sports show _716. Please follow us. Daily content. Come get your sports news from us. And man, I'm gonna say another great show in the books. So I love y'all boys as always. We will see y'all next week. Woo-doo!
Remember them regular days when there wasn't no more watches for me. Now the money keep calling for me. I'm feeling like everyone plotting on me. Gotta pray for my people to block where they stay. And I know they all counting on me. To go, we going straight to the top. You can't never look down on the streets. Remember them regular days when there wasn't no more watches for me. Now the money keep calling for me. I'm feeling like everyone plotting on me. Gotta pray for my people to block where they stay. And I know